So let's walk through those really quickly because I think those are huge. The three biggest walls the dentist hit with growth. And the first one you said is attracting and retaining key associates. And I know you guys have some content. I don't know what you can share, what you can't, but any insight on that? Like if someone's listening right now and they go, man, I am running into that wall. What would you say to them? And what are some easy fixes that they could actually apply, or some of your techniques that you have around that?
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge problem. Everybody confronts it. And you need to be prepared for it. You need to have a solution for it.
Now more than ever,
Or
right?
yeah,
It's even worse now.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's think real quick and just kind of dissect that attracting and retaining associates, and let's maybe think about it from the perspective of the recent dental school grad. I think the ADA numbers, if I remember correctly, were that the dental school graduates graduate with an average of like $275,000 in student loan debt, and which is a staggering
It's
number.
massive.
It is, and so they're carrying a lot of student loan debt. They're coming into the workforce. They may have some personal credit card debt. They may be about to get married or start a family, or they want to buy a house, or they finally want to buy a car and not, continue driving a beater that they've had since they were in high school or something like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
you have this coming into the workforce and the opportunity to practice your craft, right? And they come out of dental school or maybe a residency program or an early associateship or something like that, and they want to make money and they want to be part of something. Everybody that went to dental school was, over the last couple of decades, has been told by dental supply companies and attorneys and bankers and personal finance, certified financial planners and advisors and all of you who went to dental school, it's great because you can own your own business when you get out of dental school. Everybody that went to medical school is part of a hospital network or something else like that, but you can own your own business. So this is what's been drummed into their head, and justifiably so. And that aspect of um, being part of, or being the owner of something that you have a degree of control over and a seat at the table and kind of controlling your destiny, that is super appealing to young recent graduates, and it's a huge motivator. And
Yeah,
so
it brings out that entrepreneur
it
spirit. And
completely does. It completely does. So when they enter the workforce and they're carrying all this student loan debt and everything, and they want to make other decisions that require additional debt, they may not be really over the moon about taking on $1 million loan from one of the banks to buy their first practice. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to. It just means they might not right now. So if I'm trying to recruit one of them, what's different about me and my practice and my business than any other? And what you hear 9 times out of 10 is, well, we pay a higher compensation rate. Well, okay, that's a, I don't want to use a bad word on this podcast because you'd have to put the E rating on it, but that's like a BS
yeah,
type of an argument, because compensation rate, it is a phony number. Let's talk about income. Income to an associate is a function of compensation rate and volume of dentistry you're going to do. So instead of talking comp rate, let's talk about what a typical associate earns in our practice or in our business the first year or two.
so for somebody slow like me, right? Like you're talking about the difference between the percentage they're going to get paid and how much money am I actually walking away with at the end of the month? Like what's my paycheck going to look like, right? That's the difference. And you're dealing with
Exactly.
people who don't have experience in the industry yet, or they're just new in the industry. So that's why you're saying that number's a little shaky, right?
Yeah. So I'll try to make the numbers like really round and really easy, because numbers are hard to follow audibly here.
Yeah.
So, and these aren't representative of anything, they're just to illustrate a point.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that your compensation rate that you are touting to prospective associates is 30% of collections, and the average is the typical associate in your business collects $500,000. Okay, so 30% of $500,000 is $150,000 a year. That's what the associate is going to earn in income to pay their bills.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay a 30% compensation rate. In my business, I pay a 25% compensation rate. Whoa, that's a lot less.
Yep.
But if the typical associate in my business generates $1 million in collections, which is a lot more than what they do in your business, now 25% of $1 million is $250,000, and that's a lot more income than 150 in your business.
So those new grads are those. So we're working through these three problems, and the first is this like attracting and retaining these key associates. So the new grad, really telling them what they're going to get rather than trying to muddy up the waters and making it complicated. And then do you think the new grads are the lowest hanging fruit? Like, is that where you start first if you were a dentist?
Well, I think you have to have a strategy for that. I don't know if I'd say it's the lowest hanging fruit, but I think the clinical compensation rate is one that people just get wrapped around the axle on, and they frankly they need to redefine the debate. The second piece of this is millennials. This is going to be a broad generalization, and I'm a Gen Xer, but so
I'm a geriatric millennial. So I just found that out like last year, and I'm offended right off the bat. So go ahead and hit us with it. We're good.
Yeah. So I think this is probably hopefully a generalization that holds true for the better, which is that as generations enter the workforce, the younger candidate pools are more apt to make commitment decisions around things like core values, not necessarily fully about compensation. So what we find is that the very successful group practices that are all about the money and the numbers and don't have mission, vision, values, and culture and all of that really dialed in are at a disadvantage on the recruiting trail.
Yep.
Again, part of being a component of being part of something bigger than yourself is not just a seat at the table, but it's also belonging.
Yeah.
And
it's being part of the mission, right? Being part of the tribe or the group that you're moving in the same direction. And I don't want to get us too far off track, but I wanted to ask you this. What percentage of the people that are coming to you asking you for help don't have that dialed in? Not just the culture, but just the vision and the values, and like what percentage of group people hitting your front doorstep don't have that?
Yeah, so I would say that probably most of them have defined something around core values, mission, vision, and values, and that. But how much is it really part of the fabric of the organization? I'd say less than 25%.
Wow. So this gives you a huge competitive advantage right off the bat. So the reason that you're starting here with attracting and retaining key associates, you started with grads, but you could use this for anybody. It's starting with that mission of this is what we're trying to do together, and this is the direction that we're going together. And that's going to give you a leg up on a huge percentage of 75% of the people that you're competing with out there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, the culture piece, you can't underscore. And what you want, if I am trying to recruit somebody, is you want to create something in their mind where that candidate says, that's a business I want to be a part of. I want to be there. I want to be part of what they're building. Whatever that secret sauce is, whatever makes them unique is something that I'm gonna die trying to get a job there. You need to sell them on that. And I think the culture piece, people just sort of they whitewash, or they talk about culture at an annual company meeting, once every 364 days. if it were me, I'd lead on the recruiting trail for that. And I think that that's critically important because it's a point of differentiation. Not all dental practices or group dental practices are one and the same. They're, the more you can make yourself unique is the greater advantage you can get out of it.